How do you get male to female bottom surgery in the UK? Does the NHS pay for it? What do you need for recovery and what do you take to hospital? Is it even worth it? Hi, I'm Amelexa and I'm going to be trying to answer these questions today. I spent months researching what this is going to be like and whether it was right for me, but unfortunately there really isn't a lot of information out there for UK trans girls. The best I could find was this video by Happy Quacky, where she goes into detail about her stay at Brighton, and that helped me a lot and might help you, so it's in the description if you want it. I actually commented on that video 5 months ago, which just shows how long this has been in the making. But anyway, I went through the full vaginoplasty and I know how to make videos, so I'm looking to expand the resource base for trans girls here in the UK. I've recorded and documented the whole thing, my preparation, my travel there, and even inside the hospital itself. So this is the beginning of my story and all the things I wish I knew before going through this major life decision. To start things off, I thought someone might find it really useful if I just explained the whole process of getting this through the NHS, like right from scratch. The NHS paid £18,000 for my procedure, around that amount, so you really want to get this done through the NHS and out of pocket, really. So, starting from complete scratch, the NHS surgery pathway is as follows. You talk to your GP, they hopefully refer you to a gender identity clinic. The gender identity clinic picks up your referral and you start getting interviews with doctors. You get a diagnosis of gender incongruence, you explain that surgery is a goal for you, you have more interviews with your main doctor and another one that will be chosen for you. They both recommend surgery for you and write letters to confirm this. The gender clinic then sends these off to the GDNRSS, which is the Gender Dysphoria National Referral Support Service, and they basically just forward surgery referrals to private hospitals. Private hospital of your choice will then give you a couple of appointments, the second of which will be your surgery, and then you'll turn up for surgery, and yeah, that's a lot, but it's super complicated, but that happens over many years, so don't worry about that. The longest gap between these steps is waiting for the gender clinic to accept your referral, because they have really long waiting lists, unfortunately. And you'll need to wait a few months in between certain doctor interviews as well, so this, it takes time, but there's a lot of things that you can be doing in between then, so you can always try new clothes, makeup, and continue working on other aspects of your transition. You can be a very feminine girl without these things, so be patient. A big issue you might run into is sometimes GPs will just refuse to refer you to a gender identity clinic. This happened to me and a lot of other people. They have to by law, but sometimes they just don't. So either you can write a complaint about that or something and force your way through, but the simplest thing for me was to just change GPs. Just change GPs until you find someone that will actually do it. I was lucky because my GP actually works at the gender clinic, so they were able to prescribe me bridging hormones and everything, and they just accepted me immediately, But other people might not be so lucky, and that's just kind of like a chance thing. Once you are in the gender clinic though, it should be smooth sailing to surgery funded through the NHS. It only took me just a year. Like from going to the gender clinic to all the way to surgery, it was less than a year actually. Now that's pretty fast, but the doctors there were pretty good and everything, so it should only be about a year to 2 years maybe for the other gender clinics. I don't want to make this section too long, so if you have any concerns or questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments because I read every one. I mean, there hasn't been a single comment on this entire channel since I started it, so I will read a comment. So, for feminizing bottom surgery, there are 2 hospitals to choose from, each with 2 surgeons. You've got Parkside, London, and you've got Nuffield, Brighton. The doctor at the gender clinic will ask you which hospital and surgeon you have a preference for. I'm assuming the process is similar to Parkside. I went to Brighton, so I don't know, but you will get a pre-appointment where you'll have to make your way to the hospital and you meet the surgeon, you ask any questions that you want, and most importantly, he or she will examine the operation site, that is, your genitals, to assess whether you need permanent hair removal there or not. Before this pre-appointment, you'll get a booklet with lots of questions for you to answer, and it includes a lot of really interesting information, to be honest, about the surgery. It's actually used by the nurses and the hospital to track your progress. I'll let me from over 4 months ago explain that a little bit more because I actually recorded a video of that. Okay, so just in my car right now and about to embark on a 5-hour journey to go to the fucking hospital. So what you get is like before you go to the consultation, you get this letter thing, and it says, you know, please complete pages 1 to 7. Can't show too much of that, obviously, private info. But yeah, this is really interesting because there is lots of stuff here. So obviously there's questions 1 to 7, lots of like check boxes and stuff like have you ever been under general anesthetic and stuff like that. But there's also a consent form for like if you consent for your photos to be used in studies and stuff. But then you get onto the other pages and it's like checklists for like the surgery itself and your stay and stuff. So I'm assuming that this booklet is used throughout to like track things. Like voided urine, dentures removed, lots of stuff about like the whole thing. So that's pretty interesting. It's all about the entire like week that you're there. At this pre-appointment, you'll also get lots of papers on information for what exactly to bring into the hospital and guidance for what to do when coming up to the surgery date, including a consent form which you'll need to sign and mail over to the hospital. And this needs to happen as soon as possible because they can't do anything for the surgery. I'll give you a date until you actually do that. I've seen a few stories of people not needing hair removal with Mr. Lana at the Brighton hospital. I didn't need hair removal with him either. I think he's just particularly good at removing hair like during the operation, so there's no need for electrolysis prior to surgery, which in my opinion makes him one of the better options. It's partly why I picked him. So, what do you bring into hospital? Obviously, you should refer to the papers that you were given on what the specifics are to bring, but if you want to know what I brought, then the advice I'd give is to just assume that it's a week-long holiday and bring anything that you would not want to use on a daily basis. So that's like toiletries, including a razor, you know, your toothbrush, any stuff that you use for fun, like a laptop or a tablet, and books to read, of course, and everything. The only thing that you're not going to bring much of really are clothes. Clothes in particular are going to be different when going to this surgery. So in terms of clothes that you won't bring, a lot of trousers probably. I never wore any trousers in bed for, you know, day 1, 2, 3, 4. The only time that you wear any trousers or bottoms or anything like that are when you actually move around. And that would be on day 6 and 7. So I just took a couple pairs of comfortable things. What are they called again? Joggers, you know, like the actual letter that I got said to bring comfortable clothes. So I just went to Primark and bought these. They're quite comfortable. Probably don't want to be wearing jeans like on day 5 when you start moving around because the whole area is like really tight and painful and stuff. As for tops, when you're in the hospital bed, they like to ask you to bring some vest tops. This is back to front, but like just a simple vest top, pretty stylish. I just bought them from Primark for like £4. You'll need at least 5 of these because day 6 and 7 you can wear whatever you want, so you don't need too many of those. And also for day like 1 and 2, you probably just be wearing the hospital gown anyway that you have the surgery in. They don't actually change you into these vest tops until like day 2, so yeah, bring 5 of them at least because you will need at least 5. Oh, I actually shot that into my wardrobe like perfectly. Also, you won't need to bring socks. Well, okay, maybe 2 pairs of socks for day 5 and 6, and then of course the pair of socks that you travel to the hospital with because you will be wearing these things, which are special stockings, I'm told, which when you wear them, they're like really tight. It prevents deep vein thrombosis. You sometimes have to wear these on the way home as well. I had to wear them for their entire like 5-hour car journey home. It wasn't nice, but special stockings, so you don't need socks for like every day that you're in hospital basically. I packed 2 pairs of socks, so if you want to do that, then do that. You'll have showers before and after the operation, so it's important that you bring any shampoo or shower gel that you normally use because they don't have that in the hospital. When they wash you and assist you in washing, like they will actually use the products that you bring in. So you can bring in whatever like scented product you want. Obviously make sure you bring a phone and phone charger. What got me through the entire surgery was just watching YouTube on my phone. There's Wi-Fi in the hospital, which is good enough to stream videos. So make sure that you can actually charge your phone and text people and stuff. So, how do we prepare for home? It's very important that you buy a lot of things that create a suitable environment after the surgery. Because after the op, you won't be able to move around much, you won't be able to lift heavy things, and moving around will just be painful in general because you really don't want to. I mean, it's hard for me to be in this position without feeling hurting, so trust me when I say this, and this is day 11. Mainly, you just need supplies to be able to dilate for a few weeks. So, this means a lot of paper towels, baby wipes, aqueous cream, an industrial amount of lubricant. I'll talk about how to get this later. As much paracetamol as money can buy without raising a suspicion. An industrial amount of antibacterial hand wash, a baby changing mat to dilate on, and maxi pads to put in your underwear. That's all I bought anyway, so that's a lot of stuff. I bought it over about 3 weeks of just running around shops and stuff. And you'll need more than what I just showed as well. Maybe not as much antibacterial hand wash. I don't know why I have so much antibacterial hand wash. I gotta clean up all of this stuff now. Oh my god, why did I decide this was a good idea? Hi, it's me from the future. Just a quick note because I forgot to tell you how to get the large amounts of lubricant. And it is a large amount. I mean, my boyfriend made a comment that you could actually play Jenga with this. I mean, each one of these is a single tube. And there's another one of these boxes in there, so that's pretty funny. Oops. But basically, my surgeon wrote a letter to my GP practice saying, like, can you please prescribe Amy with these tubes, the 82-gram OptiLube tubes, because it's just the best lubricant when you're first starting out. And if you show that to your GP, they should be able to get that prescribed. So I only had to pay the standard prescription price for that amount of lubricant, which is just crazy. It makes it very cheap to get. You may have to push your GP on this though. I had to do this. So they had the letter and they read like only half of it, and I had to go into the GP practice. They showed me the letter that they were given, and I pointed out things that they missed. So that was just crazy. But I had to actually point out that yes, this is a prescription that I need, and only then did they actually give me the prescription, and I was able to take it home. So if you're like a week or 2 weeks away from the surgery, then you need to make sure that you get that before you have it. You need to make sure that it's in the house. You won't be able to like get it when you have the surgery. Yeah, that was just a little note about how to get the prescription. Make sure you also stock up on your favorite drinks. I bought 3 bottles of Ribena, which hasn't lasted me the 2 weeks, and I'm going to have to ask my boyfriend to get more for me. So make sure you stock up. You will be housebound for 2 weeks, especially if you don't have someone to help buy things for you. What the hospitals don't tell you is the actual environment you need to dilate, probably because it's common sense, but it wasn't really that common sense to me. I wish I knew it earlier. So you're going to need a relatively big dresser or table next to your bed to be able to hold all of your dilation things. At least 2 pillows or blankets so that you can sit up easily while dilating. And make sure you have a good amount of towels handy. You'll need like small ones to put over your chest so that you can wash away the excess amount of lubricant that you'll be using, and big towels to dry yourself off after cleaning the vagina after each dilation. Because you'll be doing this 3 times a day to start with. It's quite a lot. You need that environment set up so that you can just do it as fast as possible and get on with the rest of your day. It's not too bad so long as you can get it all done fast, everything's in the right place, and then you get dried, and then you just continue with the day, and then you leave everything as it is so that you can do it again 6 hours later, right? It's not too bad. So, assuming that we're all packed and ready to go, and everything at home is ready, how do we actually get to hospital? So the biggest problem is that both the hospitals that you choose from are in the south of England. So one in the northwest of London, and one is on the outskirts of Brighton and Hove. So however you plan for your journey there will vary a lot based on where you are. This will be a different plan to what you had when going to the pre-appointment because you won't be able to drive back. You can drive there, but then you'd need to arrange for someone to drive your car back because you can't drive for 4 weeks after the surgery. So you need to start thinking about how you, limping like a zombie out of the hospital 6 days after surgery, are going to get home, basically. That's the hardest part, really, because you have to rely on someone else. Most obvious and simple answer is to either go to the hospital by public transport or get dropped off by someone and then have someone just drive down so that they can drive you back on discharge. On discharge day, you will be able to sit relatively comfortably for a few hours, so you can take, a 5-hour car journey. I think I was in the car for like 6 hours because we did a lot of rest stops and everything. But if you live further north than like Manchester or Sheffield, or even Northern Ireland, the hospital will recommend that you get a plane. You will be able to get a plane by going into like a disabled sort of access, like priority access thing. They will write you a sick note for that sort of thing. I don't know too much about that, but the hospital will explain that if you need to do that sort of thing. Most people watching this video will be in the south of England anyway, so. Personally, I managed to get a really high-speed train all the way from Manchester, where I live, to London, and then London Underground, and then London to Brighton. The whole thing only took like 4 hours. It was actually like really fast. Then a friend of mine came down to Brighton the day before, day 5, slept in a hotel, and then they were able to get up nice and early and drive me back from the hospital at 1 p.m. I was pretty sore towards the end of that 6-hour car journey, so I personally wouldn't recommend going into a car journey if you live any further north or any further away than, say, Manchester or Sheffield. Maybe York could be possible, but you'd be pushing it. If you're going to get a ticket for a train or a plane, buy the ticket well in advance. I bought my train ticket about 3 weeks in advance, and then I got the ticket the day before from the cool ticket machines. I didn't have to do that on the day, so that I had a lot of time for things to go wrong. I made sure that everything was as planned as it possibly could be, and because you don't want anything going wrong when you're trying to go for the surgery, because you don't want to postpone it or anything like that. I also booked a hotel a month in advance for my boyfriend to stay over in Brighton, which I would highly recommend doing. Having someone there with you just makes the whole experience so much better. I couldn't imagine doing it alone. If you book things early, they tend to be a lot cheaper. I've got a hotel in Brighton for a whole week, and it was a pretty good hotel for only £300. Another thing I did to help plan my surgery and make sure that nothing was going to go wrong was I put the whole surgery dates in my phone calendar. I do this for basically everything. It helps me plan stuff, so I could see exactly how long away things were, so that I could just look at the calendar and see how long do I have left to plan, how long do I have to buy this certain thing that I still need to buy. What I also did was write lots of messages in Discord DMs with my boyfriend and stuff, just basically saying like a checklist for all the surgery stuff. So this is a checklist of like things to do on the day, like what trains to board, what platforms to go on. It really helps me. I did another list for things to buy at home and things to take to the hospital, so that I could just look through everything and see what I need to buy and what I need to do. It just really helps my brain focus on what's important and what we need to do at one specific time, so that I'm not, at any point throughout that journey, I was never like, oh, what do I need to do now? I don't know. Well, I do know, because it was all written down in my phone. I would recommend that if that helps you. So what about the hospital stay? Well, first of all, if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Like, this is the first time I've done this sort of content. I've a bit awkward talking to a camera while just sitting and doing nothing, so I hope that my points helped you, and if you feel like I've gone over something too fast or I didn't cover something, then please actually write in the comments. As I said before, I've got no comments on this channel, and I would love one. So I will respond to you as soon as I can with a lot of useful information, because I want to help. The next stage now is to survive the whole week through hospital, which will be hard and really emotional, and when you're there it just feels like it's never ending. It feels like eternal hell. It really, I felt like I was in a prison, honestly, except for the nice food and everything. But it will be worth it in the end. My current thoughts right now are that there's a lot of stuff to work out, and like peeing is different, and moving around hurts, and it doesn't, like, when you look at it, there's like blood and scars and stitch lines and everything, and it looks kind of horrible, but at the same time, sometimes it looks really good as well. So when it heals, I'm hoping that it's going to look better. Regardless, I'm continuing the story of my surgery in my next video, where I'll be actually showing you inside the Brighton hospital itself. So if you are planning to go to the Brighton hospital and want to prepare yourself for what's to come, that is the best video for you. As far as I know, there hasn't been a video yet where someone's actually vlogged inside the hospital in the UK. Plenty of ones for the US, but I wanted to really show exactly what it's like in the UK. So I would highly recommend that you watch that if you really want to know everything that's going to happen. So that is right here, or at least it will be. unless the video is not uploaded yet, in which case it won't be there. But if the video is uploaded, it will most definitely there. But so you should click that. Yeah, you should very much click that thing. Why are you still here? Anyway, bye.